Hey guys, just going to go over the patch notes for the recent patch in Black Desert on 25th October 2017. So TLDR for anyone that doesn't actually want to watch the entire video, most important piece really is that the maximum level for all the new skills for classes is level 60. This means that any skill you used to have for your awakening that was not a passive that required over 60 for 61 or 62 to learn can now be learned at level 60 at most. This has been changed for all classes. Also, Striker has had their damage reduction reduced, and all classes except for Striker will now do more damage to Striker in PvP combat. Alright, that's enough for the TLDR. So we've got a new event. The Blackstone event was actually supposed to start last week, but they messed up. So now we're getting it for 2 weeks instead of 1 week, and we're also getting a Sharp and Hard Black Crystal Shards gathering event, as well as an Ancient Relic Shard fishing event. There's a new Loyalty Attendance reward starting, so that'll replace the old one. Black Spirit's Adventure is closed, and there's a Mysterious Killer on the loose on Valencia 6. This is a GM, they're a sorceress, they are hunting people down. They are killable, not 1v1 though, you will need probably about at least 10 people. Black Rose has managed to do it. Very difficult to kill them, but it is possible. It's more of a fun event so far. We haven't seen if there's any actual rewards. So far, no one has gotten rewards for killing them. Another big thing is that you can now lock your Black Spirit's Rage. If you use Alt-B or click on it, you can lock the skill. This is huge for lots of classes, as they will not accidentally use the Black Spirit's Rage as soon as they hit 100% just because it's part of their main rotation. Mooses everywhere can now rejoice as they do not use Dragon's Rage and accidentally lock themselves in place without super armor to instantly die to any class with a brain. There's a few other miscellaneous changes here. Mansion on Marion Kama Sylvia 1 has been reworked. Opening Internet Explorer window in full screen mode does not change the game client to windowed mode, and Savage Rift changes, but none of them that are really that big. Except if you're level 61 or 62, there are new quests available in Kama Sylvia for the main quests. 62, there's only 2 or 3 characters in all of North America that are this, so I don't expect this to apply to most people, but for 61s, you can get an AP plus 14 ring, same as a Tri Ring of Crescent Guardian, for completing a single quest. You can only get it once per account, once per family, so this does not mean if you have 2 level 61s, you can get 2 of the rings, so don't just sell all your Tri Crescents. However, it is good if you want to sell a Tri Crescent to raise some funds. So for all classes, the big thing for everyone is the skill level change. For the most part, most classes stayed fairly the same. Warrior got a few buffs in damage. Ranger, nothing except the skill level changes. Same for Sorceress, same for Berserker, same for Tamer. Valkyrie got a few small changes. But the big changes were for Musa, Meiwa, Ninja, and Kunoichi, as well as Striker. So Musa and Meiwa have been receiving buffs over the last several patches, as they slowly try to buff them back into relevance. Meiwa's in a much better place than Musa, but Musa's been getting fairly decent buffs. Honestly, the thing they really need though is PvP buffs. Their PvE is already amazing, so what they really need is PvP buffs. They did get several critical hit changes, but they also really need accuracy. Also, this is big for people that want to do PvP as a Musa. After using Dragon Bite on a good Dragon Bite hit, if you want to use Dragon Claw, this means you cannot just use Dragon Claw after using Dragon Bite, but you actually have to get a good hit off. And the cooldown of the skill flow dash slash has been reduced. Meiwa, similar buffs to the Musa, mostly just damage. PvE damage has been increased, which is okay for Meiwa. Their big problem with PvE is not damage, it's AoE. All DP decrease effect has been added to skill Petal Drill on good hits, which is actually really good for PvP. Meiwas are already good in PvP, so this will just make them better. And just like every class, they got skill level reductions to learn the maximum levels of their skills for Petal Bloom and Moonrise. Ninja and Kunoichi, they got similar buffs to Musa and Meiwa, mostly just damage buffs. Ninja did get an attack range buff, which should be pretty good. Kunoichi, fairly similar. A few quality of life changes as well. As well as a WP to stamina change. So instead of using WP for Chain Crash Saw Chakram, it'll now use stamina, 250 stamina, which is a fairly decent amount of stamina. But it does now WP recovery effect, which is good. Dark Knight, no real changes. Striker, this is massive. So for months now, people have been complaining that Strikers take less damage in PvP than other classes. And this was easily replicatable. Strikers, very difficult to kill, pretty much the kings of 1v1. So this should make it easier for other classes to deal with Striker. It remains to be seen if Magic classes can actually fight Strikers now, but at least it's a start. They also had a few small increases to their PvE utility, but apart from that, not much change with Striker. Apart from that, a few item changes. You can, the icons for a few things have been changed, new gear descriptions, and crystal items dropped in the abandoned mine have been changed to a boxed item. This is actually a nerf and a buff. It's a buff to your inventory space because the crystals did not stack, and the new box does stack. However, you only get one crystal from the box. You don't get two, which a lot of them did drop. So if you wanted to use it as a money-making method, that's been slightly nerfed. However, if you just want to grind on the abandoned iron mine, and unless you really want the necklace for the Oscar set, I have no idea why you would, it's a buff. A few other small changes. You can now buy certain items from blacksmiths and arms dealers and arms vendors. It's not viable to buy these if you're trying to save money by not buying them in the marketplace, unless you've played the Amity minigame. And if you're playing the Amity minigame, I believe there are some slightly better items to buy, unless you're buying the Rosar weapons. However, this is a good way if you really just need to upgrade your gear and you do not have any of them in the marketplace. For example, if you have a Rosar weapon that's in demand, such as the staff or the short sword, you can just go to Valencia and buy them from the Valencia arms dealer and the Valencia blacksmith. Apart from that, grade 3 weapon and armor reform stone exchanges have been added for 5 hunter seals in Tarif. Not really a huge change. It's probably still better to exchange for blackstones. If you really need to ultimate some of your gear, this is a viable way to do it if you've been doing the daily quest for hunter seals and if you've been doing your ancient relic shards, but it's probably still better just to get blackstones unless you really need to ultimate some gear. Apart from that, monster changes. There has been a change to the Halloween event. Isabella the Witch will now appear more than once a day and on all servers. She'll appear every 4 to 5 hours, which means she'll appear about 5 times a day, at most 6. She has more HP, so she's getting stronger, but you'll be able to get more loot from her, and the chance of getting an event Halloween gift box has increased. Kama Sylvia has gotten a few small buffs, same with Southwestern Calpheon, and Southwestern Calpheon now has a chance of obtaining short-term buff scrolls. So this is good for new players because it gives a way to increase their leveling speed while they're still in the Calpheon. They're just small buffs. They only last for a few minutes. 3 minutes, I think? Yeah, 3 minutes. But they're free. You might as well use them if you get them. And you can have stat and XP buffs at the same time. Apart from that, not really any other major changes to really note. There's been a few quest changes. Gold bar as a reward to normal and gathering quests. But apart from that, those are the big things. The Striker DP nerf and the level changes for the maximum levels of skills for most classes are really the big things to take away from this patch. Anyways, guys, that was the patch for October 25th, 2017 in Black Desert. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like it.